The late Komla Dumor started off wanting to study medicine. However, he graduated in sociology and psychology, then went on to get his master's in public administration at Harvard University. He was then asked by Brown University to enter the African Leadership Program. He declined, went back to his home country, Ghana, started the Super Morning Show with Joy FM. BBC picked up on it, awarded him a job in London. Network Africa was born. Though he died very young, his flamboyance, his journalism skills, and his talent for developing African stories left a great footprint for other journalists to follow. Komla did not choose the easy way to go to Brown University. Rather, he came back home to Ghana to pursue his authentic calling. Patrick Ouah was working at Microsoft, successfully making money, enjoying a good life in the States. After the birth of his son, he had an inner stirring within him. He wanted to live with more purpose. He wanted to replicate the Ivy League education he received from Swarthmore College, not only for his son, but for the future generation of African leaders. 15 years ago, he founded ISSA University. The rest is history, as they say. 2015, he was awarded the MacArthur Fellowship. Fortune also named him the 50 top leaders in the world. Patrick could have easily stayed in Microsoft, made money, given an Ivy League education to his son. No, he came back to Ghana, pursued his authentic calling. I too resonate with both of these stories, not because I'm as great as them or as I've done 1% of what they've done, but simply because I too see my authentic path in front of me. I've transformed myself from being solely about making money and more about inspiring with words, inspiring personal growth. Now, I keep talking about authenticity. What do I mean by authenticity? What is the definition of authenticity? It doesn't simply mean being a good person or a happy person or charitable. It doesn't mean that you need to work hard all your life. Authenticity comes from the Latin roots to author one's life. It comes from a deep place from within, where our actions and words are congruent with our values and beliefs. It's not a destination, but rather a deep self-discovery journey, where we dig deep, challenge our beliefs, face our fears and doubts, and try to find a place where we're alive from within. Simply put, authenticity is being ourselves, not an imitation of who we think we should be. You see, we all have a unique gift, a talent. We must find that, nurture it, use it as a platform where we can grow and where we can help our brothers and sisters. Now, there's 3 components for authenticity that I'm going to highlight today. One of them is know thyself, and it's simply knowing as much as we can about ourselves. And it's a simple 2 words that have been inscribed 3,000 years ago in the Temple of Apollo at Delphi. You see, we spend maybe hours, days, weeks trying to find out about other people, maybe romantic partners, maybe business partners. But the sad thing is we don't know much about ourselves. What's our personality? Are we extroverted? Are we introverted? Are we good with people? Are we good with numbers? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? We're told to always overcome our weaknesses. No, the truth is focus on your strengths. What are your strengths? How can we use our strength to help ourselves and each other? What about our interests, our skills, our passions? Are we aware of them? What about our goals and aspirations? 90% of people walk around not knowing what goal they have in their lives. They might say, I want to make money or I want to travel the world. But what is your actual goal? You see, the sad thing about not knowing about yourself, what happens is that other people label you, tag you, compartmentalize you, put you in a compartment, sorry. And all of a sudden, what you're doing is you're living for the values of others. You're pursuing goals that are not even yours. It could be the teacher's goals or your parents' goals or your friends' goals. So first rule of authenticity, know thyself. My biggest regret is that I didn't start this self-discovery journey 20, 25 years ago. Because if I had known now if I had known then what I know now, I would have used my own talents, my writing, my speaking, my inspiration and personal growth to do much more for my life and for the people around me. The second principle is living with purpose. I've got some great heroes here who lived with purpose, because life is all about, it's not about the self, it's not about I or me, it's not about us and we. People who live with a purpose grow, they serve, they impact communities. Gandhi could have stayed in South Africa or England, liberated himself. He didn't need to liberate the whole of India. Patrick Oua could have given his own son an Ivy League education in the US. He didn't have to open a university in Ghana, become the biggest in Africa. But I want to mention one thing about living with purpose and authenticity. You don't need to be somebody who's famous. You don't need to be somebody who's very well known. I have a picture up there of an old man that symbolizes my grandfather. In the last 20 years of his life, he would wake up every day, 5 o'clock in the morning, collect money from the rich, buy foods, and deliver to the poor. He wasn't famous. Nobody knew his name. Nobody knows what he did. He was very poor. But I'll tell you what, at his funeral, 5,000 people came to pay his respects. Third principle is a daily practice. Because as Annie Dillard says, what we do, how we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. And authenticity is something that needs discipline and a daily practice, because it's so easy to disconnect in this world. It's very fast, very furious. We need to set a daily practice where we connect solely to our souls. I have a daily practice which I've built over the last 3 or 4 years. I rise early, meditate, make sure I write an hour and read an hour and exercise every day. These are my rituals. They could resonate with you, you will have others. But the point is, they are bridges to my soul, where I wake up every day, go towards my soul, get some soul into my flesh, and come and deal with the world. All this authenticity leads me to the Authenticity Project, what I'm talking about today. Last year, we set up an initiative called the Authenticity Project, whereby we highlighted some leading African authentic people, such as Patrick Oua. We also highlighted a few others that may be not so well known to you. Selassie Adatika, who left her UN job, a decade-long UN job, to come back to Ghana and follow her culinary passion. She wants to showcase Africa's culinary heritage. Nana Amwako-Anin was a high-flying lawyer in Manhattan. She left her job again, coming back to Ghana to teach wellness and yoga. These leading luminaries were chosen to inspire many other people who are doing authentic work in Ghana, in small communities, rural areas. We want to hear stories from people who are doing authentic things, who are impacting communities. Last month, we just celebrated the inaugural event, and out of 20 contestants or applicants. We narrowed it down to 7, and finally to 1 person. And as a coincidence, she actually spoke already today, Yasmin Kumi. A hand to her for the Africa Foresight Group. Now let me end with a few words. Authenticity is not about a set practice. It's not about a certain profession, because you could have an entrepreneur who's living authentically, another one who's not. A musician who's living authentically, another one that's not. Their names could be Steve Jobs or Joe Bloggs. It's not about the name, it's rather about our unique talent, our authentic selves. Because you see, I don't want to be Steve Jobs. I want to be me, I want to be the best version of me. If that means I need to change what I'm doing, then so be it. If it means I need to change some of my friends, my family, my life, then so be it. If it means I need to change where I'm living, then so be it. Because I only get one life and I want to live it authentically. So, we all have this unique talent, this unique gift. I ask of you today, let's start on our self-discovery journey today. Let's walk towards our authentic path today. Because without our authentic selves, we dare not dream. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.